Hello, 6th grade classroom, Filch Train. So this is me re-recording lesson 3 for reading. This B that is all up in my grill right here. So we are in, obviously, our poetry unit, so we're going to continue working on that. And as you can see here, we're going to be going over structure and form of poetry. Right? Yeah. Okay. Something that you want to think about whenever you're analyzing a poem is the form and the structure. So we've seen all kinds of different poems in your life so far. You just maybe didn't know what they were called or why they were written the way that they were written. It also is going to help us kind of dive into the meaning of the poems. And again, what we've talked about for the past 2 lessons is there's always a meaning within a poem. We can all have completely different meanings and perspectives with the exact same poem. So let's go ahead and dive on it. That's not it. Present. Okay. So, there are 3 different phases or 3 different lessons that we're going to go over within poetry analysis. There's going to be the second 2. I'm not going to go over, but I'm not going to dive into super hard today, obviously. So, we're starting with form and structure. Okay. And we can see that right here. And then we're going to have language and poetic devices and the message. Okay, and again, for a certain poem, there can be more than one message there. So there is a caveat. A caveat is kind of like an exception. So when we think about poems and their different, and then how they may differ in structure, they all are going to express the author's thoughts and feelings of a particular topic or subject or person. When we're reading a poem, we do not want to pause at the end of each line, but we do want to slightly pause for commas and come to a full pause for periods. And I'll demonstrate that, but I'm not the best at that bad boy. Okay. The first structure we're going to look at is free verse. So this is Fog by Carl Sandburg. The fog comes on little... Actually, you know what? I think I missed one. There we go. I'm so sorry. So free verse is just a poem that has no set length, rhyme scheme, set pattern, or structure. It's free. It's like a free... as they would say, like a free bird. There's not a whole lot of structure within the poem. Here are some examples here that you're more than welcome to click on. One of my favorites is Mother to Son. And then we also have some Robert Frost here. Last time. An example that we have here for you is Fog. The fog comes on little cat feet. It sits looking over harbor and city on silent hunches and then moves on. So notice how we kind of flow through right here, but we are going to make a hard stop at that period. All right, narrative. It's going to tell a story just like it does whenever you write a narrative in Miss Knudsen's writing class. Okay, it's told by the narrator and has story elements like character, setting, problem, and solution. The narrator is not always the author of the poem. Keep that in mind. Brown Girl Dreaming, which we'll do a little bit together. The Crossover by Kwame Alexander. And Out of the Dust, which some of you read on first semester. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. I was exposed to a lot of Edgar Allan Poe in middle school. And that's about all that I was exposed to. So here we go. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of some one gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. Okay, a sonnet is a poetic form that has 14 lines in specific rhyme and meter. Each line has 10 syllables, no more, no less. The type of sonnet will determine which syllables are stressed and unstressed. So again, we have free verse. This is kind of, I would say, almost the opposite of free verse. Way more structure there for you. All right, this is by Maya Angelou. This is a very, very, very famous poet. One foot down, then hop. It's hot. Good things for the ones that's got. Another jump now to the left, everybody for himself. In the air now, both feet down. Since you black, don't stick around. Food is gone, the rent is due. Curse and cry and then jump too. All the people out of work. Hold for 3, then twist and jerk. Cross the line, they count you out. That's what hopping's all about. Both feet flat, the game is done. They think I lost. I think I won. Epic is a long and narrative poem which is usually related to heroic deeds of a person of an unusual courage and unparalleled bravery. In order to depict this bravery and courage, the epic uses grandiose style. Don't confuse it with a ballad. A ballad is shorter in length than an epic, uses simplistic language, and is composed to be sung on some occasions and not narrated. That was weird. I read the Odyssey and the Iliad, and in college they were very long poems. I only recently realized that they were poems. Obviously, I'm pretty cultured. Here we go. He who has seen everything, I will make known to the lands. I will teach about him who experienced all things alike. Anu granted him the totality of knowledge of all. He saw the secret, discovered the hidden. He brought information of the time before the flood. All right, a monologue. Dramatic monologue, I'm sorry. It is a poem where the speaker addresses him or herself or a silent listener, usually not the reader. The speaker reveals his or her specific intentions of his actions in a dramatic manner. These are really, really great examples right here, especially Hawk's Monologue by Ted Hughes. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools. The way to dusty death, out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player, that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. So this is from the play Macbeth. It is a very, very, very popular one. Okay? So, I know that these lessons are weird, because we would normally be like talking back and forth, and you would be talking way more than I would be talking, to kind of get ideas about why poems look the way they do, and is there a reason why they're written in free verse versus why a sonnet is written the way that a sonnet is written. So really, let's kind of think about those things, okay? So I'm going to take you to the next phase here, my friends. Okay, so I know your homework is in its learning, but I just want you to see me and hear me say it. So you're going to open that copy of the poetry guide that you started as a Google Doc in lesson 2. You're going to add definitions and examples for narrative poetry and free verse poetry. Then share the document back with me. Okay? So again, you're first finding out, and again, you can use Google, that's okay. What is the definition of narrative poetry and free verse poetry? They're two different things. You need both of those definitions, and share at least 2 examples for each one. Again, you have an online resource, so please use it. Examples of narrative poetry, examples of free verse poetry. Okay? When you're looking at those examples, you should really be seeing why would that be a narrative poetry, and why would this piece be a free verse poetry? I want you to really, really think about that, okay? Just within the structure, okay? Think about that. This is your assignment for lesson 3. If you get stuck, let me know. But again, these are the directions. You heard me. You're hearing me read them to you. You also have them in its learning, which is where you're supposed to submit it. Okay? All right. Good luck. If you need me, I'm obviously here. Let me know. All right. See you next week. Bye, guys.